Good morning! Happy Fairy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I have some surprises for you today, and I'm getting out the paintbrushes I'm going to need. And I have a surprise for you guys that yesterday during my live, we had our molding and arts and crafts. And an idea hit me because I had this piece of stone here. Beautiful. I just love the shape of this. It has a very unique base for a fairy garden with the actual cracks in it. And I had this spray painted and prepped for our fairy garden arts and crafts. And I just love the natural cracks in it. I love how it sets, and I thought, what an awesome fairy garden to have on your mantle, a shelf. So this is what we're going to be doing today. But I also, so if you have rocks in your garden or out in the yard, go out there and collect. Find a unique one. I love how it slopes and then goes into a flat base. What a perfect rock that you can work with. And so after the live yesterday, I had an idea pop in my head, and I made some fairy babies out of clay. Now, why did I make them out of clay? Because they're light. Very light. They are wrapped up in a leaf and they are extremely light. So they can on a tree branch and not weigh it down. I mean, they hardly have any. Hi, Paula. Hello, Miss Anna. They have no weight to them. And I also made a sleeping baby fairy who got, this one's a little older. This one came out of its leaf cocoon and has his wings. And how awesome is that? He's still got some of the, and I got his wings made and put on him, and he is just ready to get out there and fly with the fairies. And look at his little butt right there between his wings. How adorable of a little fairy. So I made one that got his wings and two that are still in their leaf cocoons. So we are going to be painting them to put them on our rock garden. But I did get the trees. I'm going to put these little ones over here for right now. Put him up here so he don't get broke. I don't think that you can break clay, but you never know. Squish it, I guess. But if you remember, I told you all, when we did this piece, it needed something. We have the little gnome over here, the welcome sign, and we have the angel right here, which I love. And it just needed something else because we have the sparkling snowflake water fountain. So I got some trees for it. And here are the little trees, sparkly little trees. I have a tiny one that we're going to put in the front by the sign, and the two bigger ones will go in the back. So let's get that done. We're going to work on the tiny one first, the little tiny one, and take your glue gun and put some glue on the bottom of the tree. And we are going to put this one right by the sign. There, look at that. See, just a small sparkly tree makes all the difference in the world. Check that out. It looks gorgeous. So on the back side, to give it something more, we are going to put the other two trees. So I guess I don't have to put my glue on the bottom of the tree. Let me hold it in here. Okay, we're going to put this tree right here. And I love the fact they sparkle, because that's what this is, our welcome fairy with the angel and the gnome. And we definitely want the trees to stand out. It's about the trees. And we will put this one out here in the open. And look at there, y'all. Now tell me that doesn't make it look much, much better. Yeah, I only had a tiny deer. Hey, I could look in my that animal bag I got from Big Barn Auctions and see if I have a baby deer in there. Yes. That is so pretty. Now it has come together. Now this looks like a beautiful fairy fountain with, on a very gold tone dish. This is a beautiful fairy garden now. I love it. And I will look for a little deer. And this is one that we did in our other classes with the Christmas trees. And this one over here, it's just beginning to snow. We have the Christmas deer and the lights. And I am looking for some Christmas bulbs to put on there. I will find them. Paula says she likes it. Yes, I do too. And of course, our little fairy babies that just are adorable. And they are going to go on our fairy garden here. You know, I'm going to move our fairy babies up where they won't get smashed by my wrist. I'll put them in the box here to keep them safe for right now. That's for sure. Now, I have many things to work with today because I want to be able, I want to put some lights around here, but I also want the tree and I brought many of my things. You know, let's move these just in case. You might see those in the auction tomorrow. I will probably be auctioning off some of the fairy gardens tomorrow too. We have our live auction at 10:30. There, I moved them over there so we don't. But I did bring several of these. I haven't decided yet. Because these are where the fairy babies are going to be laying on the branch. So I wanted to bring several of these out so that I can see which one will work the best. And I really like this one because it is already spread out. You see how that's spread out? And I love the way that is. So I think this is the one. And then I have the white and the greenery here. And also, I want to make this about a watch keeper who watches over the fairy babies. So, we have our keeper's house. And that is going to go right there. So the fairy keeper watches over the babies in the leaves and keeps them safe. And so that's how we're going to go with that today. But first we have to do our base. And how do I want to do my base? I definitely want to make this about a hill. So I want to put some brown on it, as well as some green. Kind of like a brown grassy hill. Let's see. I think that would work fine. And I got my little white mat down to catch all the little stuff. And I did bring some of the flowers I have, because of course we want to make it a pretty fairy garden. So, and if you guys want to offer me any kind of, don't be afraid to offer me like, input, like what you would like to see. And I do see a beautiful sunflower here. Yeah, look at that. That is a gorgeous sunflower. And then here's another type of flower. Too bad we didn't have a lot of sunflowers in here. I would love that. And we have some color. Oh yeah, this'll look nice. All right, so we will put that over here also. Now we want to start on the hill over here. Can you guys see the hill? We definitely want to start on the hill. And so we want to be able to put some, let me get my big brush out that I use glue with. And I need my mixer bottle. I'm so glad I get organized, because I just would not like it if I wasn't organized. So let's put some of our earth in here. And I'm not going to mix a whole lot of green in it, because I want it to be like a grassy, not a grassy hill, but a hill. And we can always add flowers to it, if we so choose. Just a little bit. Just enough grass to make it look like a grassy hill. And we could even put some of the longer grass on the side to make it look like they're standing up, like weeds growing. That would look awesome too. All right, so let's just add a little bit of green in here. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming in to our fairy garden crafts. And right now today we are working on a beautiful rock that we can turn into a beautiful fairy garden piece. And I am glad you came in to join us. You all are very special to me, and I appreciate you. All right. Oh yeah, that looks good. Might need to add just a little more. Might need to add just a little more green. I don't know. It's looking pretty green. Maybe not. That is looking pretty green. Oh yeah, with the brownish tint to it. Oh yeah. Oh wow, that is gonna look so sweet, y'all. All right. We're going to take our glue. And what we are making is a grassy hill to put our fairy grass and dirt on. This is going to look nice as a fairy hill. Maybe add some flowers to it. And I do want some grassy mounds on there. After all, it's a grassy hill. Oh, nice. And the glue helps it adhere to the rock. And I'll tell you what, guys, I will be doing a shout out for the other fairy channels really soon. And check their fairy crafts out and their fairy channels. You will love them. I love watching those who build fairy gardens, and oh, I love how this is turning out. Our beautiful grassy hill here. And I do want to put some more up towards the top. And in these little crevices that you see in the rock, in the little crevice, we will definitely put reindeer moss. I am using, and I'm going to show you guys what reindeer moss looks like. And we are definitely going to use, because it is a rock, we are going to use reindeer moss. And this is what reindeer moss looks like. Look, it really looks like moss, and it's beautiful. I love it. And it will look awesome on this stone for the fairy garden. So we have our grassy hill, and then we are going to add the moss into the crevices. But right now, I definitely want to put a little more up on this hill. So all right. We definitely want it fitting in. There we go. Now it's coming up over the hill. Okay, let's get this out of our way and close the lid on our mixture. We might need that somewhere else, so we're going to keep that. And that's the mixture I have for. And let's take out pieces of our reindeer moss. We just need tiny pieces like this. We don't need the bigger pieces yet. Check that piece. Oh, you guys should smell that. Oh, that smells good. All right, so right here, right on the side here is where we are going to tuck some of our moss. So we definitely want to put some glue down and a definite touch of hot glue. And we are going to tuck this piece right into the crevice. Paula says, wow. Like it, Paula? Oh, yeah. See? And that's how that looks. Just like a grassy hill. And we're going to put moss on the side and over on this side also. We are going to put the moss. And I can't believe I found the perfect pieces that will fit right in there. So we definitely want to use our glue first. And when you are selling pieces, you definitely want to make sure that it's going to hold it down. You don't want anything falling off on your customers, so you want to make sure the moss is going to be permanent. And you tell them they can lightly mist their moss. It will not hurt it to lightly mist it and keep it revived. Or they can let it dry out and it'll turn to a dark green and you will be able to tell it dried out. And you see how this piece, it just fit right in there. And you still want it to look real. So you don't want to, tuck it to make it look so neat that it doesn't look like a beautiful fairy piece. So now what we want to do, we made sure those were definitely glued in. And we have just a tiny bit right here on the bottom. So let's see if I can't find just a tiny piece of moss. We don't need a great big piece of moss for that area. I might have to tear one. Yeah, I try not to tear the moss pieces because I like them the way they are. But, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. This might work. This might work. We have a couple of little pieces right here. So let's take our glue. Okay. We are going to tuck that right there. Oh, yeah. That fit beautifully. Look at that. Beautiful. Mossy and we aren't covering up the natural cracks in the rock. We are going to try to keep those showing because they are beautiful. And that, see how that looks like you have the hill going up into where the fairy lives and the babies are being grown. And you have the beautiful reindeer moss on the end. And it's going to be, and when it dries completely, you will see how beautiful this fairy garden looks. Dropped my glue gun on the floor like normal. When don't I drop things, y'all? Just gorgeous. Check that out. How beautiful. And that little piece fit perfectly right there on the end. I love it. And since the crack is on the other side, we can go ahead. We have the beautiful moss there. So I want to see, let me find my stems. Let's see. We have the darker green. We also have the brown. And I think because the hill is a brown and grassy brown, I think what I should do is use a combination of these right here on our to make them stand up beside the hill, and then this section we can use to base the plant where the babies are going to be sitting. How fun is that? Good morning. How are you, Queen Bee? Buzz, buzz, buzz. It's a good morning to buzz. All right. Oh, wait. Did that sound right? Did that sound right? Okay. We are going to use the green and the brown. Since the hill is a combination, and I just love these. And we want to mix them up together so that they will stay. Maybe just I put just a little more green in there, and we're mixing them up right now so that the brown will intermix with the green. Oh yeah, that looks gorgeous. That really does look gorgeous. So I'm going to turn this so you guys can watch me. We are going to put these right here on the hill. You can see how the reindeer moss comes here, down here, and there's this flat piece right here. Perfect to put these on. So, let me get my brush wiped off of all those hairs and go ahead and put our glue here. Now, I am not being stingy with the glue because I want to make sure that our reeds stay upwards. We don't want them falling down or bending. I'm kind of moving slow this morning. I need to get off my bottom and take my shower. Just dropping in to say hello. I sure miss you when you don't stay, girl. I'm glad you came in, though. Don't forget the auction is tomorrow. I have some awesome pieces. All right. Now, what I mean, these aren't the kind of reeds that you can just, tap on your table. I'm going to try to get them as even as possible. And you do that by pulling at them until you think they are where you want them. And don't worry about the bottom reeds because those will be cut off. We're not going to lose too many. And then you make sure they are on the glue. These are a very fine material, so they are a little harder to work with than the moss or the grass, but they're just beautiful. Just beautiful. And I don't mind them being different sizes at the top because that's what reeds do. I don't think reeds grow in a particular order. So we want to make sure our reeds are sticking. I picked it up with my hands, so we'll fix that. And don't be afraid to use a little more glue, y'all. We even have some grass mixed in there. That's pretty good. All right. And then whatever falls off, we can put back. And there we have our reeds. You see how they look? And they're all different. They all look different and just spiking up there, and they will stay. Once your glue hardens, they will stay. So let's trim, because what I can do to make this a little bit firmer, when we cut the bottom off, we can add more glue and make the bottom a little more sturdy. Then you're wasting none of your arts and crafts supplies. And the reeds, like I said, they're hard to work with. A lot of people don't like working with the reeds. I do, because I think if you just have a little patience, you can do it. And it just takes a little patience. So here's what I cut off. So I'm gonna put it together like this. And I love the fact the little pieces of grass are in there. And I am going to just put a line of glue right here. And I am going to add these pieces onto that glue. And I love the fact the moss is in there. And it makes it look like it's in the wild. It does make it look like it's growing in the wild. And I love it. Now, you can cut these when your glue is wet, but be careful. Because if you move your reeds, you have to kind of put them back in place like I just did. But that's okay. They're easy. Yeah, I use my thumbnail a lot because it makes it easier. All right, let's turn it around. And there you have your reeds growing on the side of the hill. How awesome is that, you guys? And so we are definitely gonna let that dry a little bit. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I need just a little piece of moss to help this end right here. So let's cut off just a little piece of moss, and we are going to stick it right here. Because for some reason that wants to give me a hard time. And then we're gonna stick it right there so it stays. And that moss will help to hold on our reeds. This is gonna be a beautiful piece. There we have it. And there you have your reeds on the back of your, and then we have, and what we'll do once we get the trees in here, the moss will come around and hide the end of your your reeds, and it will also hide. How about some that, yes, we will get the flowers. Definitely get flowers, but once I get the trees on here, then I will cover this with the moss so that it look, that does look like a spider in there. Doesn't that look like a little spider? We're gonna keep him in there. We're gonna leave that little spider alone and just let him, we'll pretend he's a spider and let him just crawl up there. All right, now we know we have our reeds in there a lot. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? I am gonna drop some hot glue. I am gonna drop some hot glue right down into there. Hold it with my finger. Whenever I notice anything like that, I like to drop the hot glue in, and just to be on the safe side. Even though we're gonna have the moss and everything, I want it there. See how it's holding that a lot better? It is not, and I love how it looks like the reeds are growing every which way. Look at that. I love the reeds. And like I said, some people don't like working with them because they're so fine and hard to deal with, but I love them. I like making things look as almost natural as we can. So we know our house is definitely going to be on the end over here. Now that we have that done, can you go? Thank you, Paula. Can you see the house in the video? I want to make sure y'all see where the house is. I think I'll turn it this way for right now. So you guys, we definitely are putting the house here. We know that. So the house goes on the end. And then we're going to have our trees over here. So we want to have, I guess we could glue down our house because it ain't coming off. This is going to be a permanent part of the fairy garden. So let me get another glue stick. All right. I'm going to take a drink, y'all. Now, if I'm not mistaken, do you guys know if reeds, if there are little flowers that grow by reeds? Does anybody know? I'm pretty sure there are, but I want to make sure that we have. And this is the fairy's house that guards the little baby fairies. Oh, they do grow. Okay. Okay, so we got our house on. Now what I'm going to do, and don't worry about the tag. Don't worry about that, guys, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay. Okay. And I love how this reindeer moss is different, like a light green. Oh my gosh, look, that looks like a heart, y'all. Look at that. It's a heart. How perfect. But that's too much for right there. But, aw, that sure looks like a heart. I almost hate to tear that up. But we don't need big, thick pieces on the back of the house. We want it to look like the moss is coming up from the rock and coming up on the house. And then, like, see, it'll cover that tag. And then we'll put some moss down on the, and I'll show you guys in a minute. I'm trying to make it so you guys can see it. And what I did was tear the moss apart just a little bit so that I can glue it on here. I love this fairy song. I don't know if you guys do, but I just love it. We definitely want to put some glue down. And I will show you. Hi, Valerie. How are you, honey? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. And afterwards, I always go around and take off the extra that I have. Let's pull this one right here. Yeah, we're definitely going to pull this little piece because I think it'll fit perfect right here. And then this piece, I'm going to take off this part. I'm just going to cut off this part because whatever like spill that we cut off, we can always use in a little place somewhere else. And it always stays so nice. And then let's cut off some of the top. I want it to stick out a little bit because it is the back of the house. So we're just going to trim this up. And then I'm going to show you guys. It'll fit perfect right here. And there you have that. See, it looks like it's coming out from the rock. And then we can put our bush right, tuck our bush right in there. And it'll look like it's growing up in the back of the fairy house. And that is going to look awesome. So we're going to take, and I love the fact that this is dark and light green. I think this is going to be perfect in there. So we will definitely tuck it inside. And then we will put some moss around it to make it look like it's growing up through the moss. Oh, I need another glue stick already. Sheesh. I am very liberal with my glue, y'all, as you can tell. So let's put some glue around this. Okay. And it looks like it's right in, growing right inside the moss, coming out from the back of the fairy house. How beautiful is that? And then we got to take some of the moss that we have extra over here, and we are going to put it around the base of the plant. Whoops, I dropped my glue stick out. Okay, we'll get another one. And I will show you guys this in a minute, so you can see what I'm talking about. And then the bush looks like it's growing right out from the moss. And I do want to put just a tiny, tiny, tiny drop of glue back here to hold the plant upright so it doesn't think it can go dancing all over the place like it's trying to. So we'll hold it there for a couple seconds. And there we have the back of the fairy house, and it looks like the plant is coming out, growing out of the moss. How beautiful is that? Y'all like that? And this gives you some ideas on your fairy gardens and how to take a rock out of your garden that you think would make a great fairy piece and turn it into your fairy garden. Now, I did not have the baby idea until last night. So we got to paint the fairy babies. Definitely paint the fairy babies, because we want them to have their character and be on the green leaves. And those are for the bigger trees. Let's get rid of that. Pull that off. Oh, it's going to look so beautiful, y'all. Okay, now that will stay. And there we have it. Now, because we have the plant growing, I was thinking Now, tell me if I'm wrong, y'all. If you don't like it, let me know. But I was thinking just now that I could cut these tiny white flowers off and just intermittently glue them into there. What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Take them apart. I don't need them all, just a few. Oh, these are fused together. Oh my, I won't be able to use those ones, but these ones I could. These aren't fused together. Get my handy scissors. And then put them down between. What do y'all think? Put the little white flowers in between? Does that look okay? Paula says, yes, they do. Anybody else care to let me know if the white flowers look good in between? I'm not going to put a ton of them, but just like, hi, Leslie. Hello. How are you, girl? It looks pretty with the white. Oh, good. Let's cut some more then and see. I can't cut these two because when they made these in the factory, they fused them together. So, Paula says, hi, Leslie. How are you? I can use these ones. They're not fused. And remember, guys, what I told you about whenever you're cutting the stems off, save your stems. I wonder if I could cut those apart. Let me see. I did it! Yay! And they still look good. Yay! I'm glad I was able to cut those apart. Now, I might not need a long as stem as the other ones at all. So we want to tuck them to where they look like they are natural in with the bush. See how that looks natural? Valerie said hello, Leslie. Yeah, we definitely want them looking natural. All right, I don't want to put a ton. Maybe we need... There we go. Just a little white popping out the top. How does that look, everyone? That looks like enough white. Just a little bit growing out from the back of the fairy house. So that there. And then we can maybe put some like other flowers in here to make it look like there are flowers growing on the grass. I think your sister would love this one, Leslie. I think she would love this fairy garden rock. I love how she does her fairy garden. I don't know if she's still doing it, but I was hoping she would start making the videos. And we have this over here. I see some of my reeds moved, so I will have to fix them later. So here we have our fairy house, and she lives there to guard the baby fairies. Now, if you weren't in here when I started, I had an idea after my live yesterday. I made some cute little fairy babies wrapped in leaves. to put on our fairy tree. And this is why the other fairy lives here, because she guards the baby fairies. And they are up in the tree. So the fairy that she really has to watch is the one that sprouted his wings already. This baby fairy has his wings, so she has to watch over him. Now, next week, we are going to be building, and I'm going to show you, I am going to show you the trees that we are using. These, we will cut this down because it is fanned out. And the babies wrapped in leaves will tuck in right on a leaf like that. And they are still growing, so we will tuck them inside the tree. And then the baby that has already sprouted its fairy wings, we are going to make a nest bed of flowers and put the baby on the flowers. How awesome is that? So I will be painting these and getting them ready for the fairy garden. And next week we will make our tree, cut down our tree, and get that on and put the reindeer moss. We are going to put, let me put the babies up. I don't want them to, they're dry, so I'm not too worried. I just don't want to squish them. But what I love about the clay is they're so light. They will not make anything too heavy. They are so light. But I will be making his flower nest with you next week. And the tree. We will be cutting down the tree. And adding that on. And we will also be doing the moss around the base of the house. And adding some flowers there. And this is going to be a wonderful fairy garden. And add our lights. We have to add our lights. And it's going to look beautiful. But I do want to thank you all for spending this hour with me making our fairy garden projects. And it gives you some ideas. And maybe I will see your video making a fairy garden on a rock. And I would just love to see you making your fairy gardens. So keep that in mind, y'all. Tomorrow, 10:30. Tomorrow's Wednesday. No, tomorrow, 1:30. Our book club. 9 p.m. Our book read. Don't want to miss our book club. And then Thursday, we have the auction. A live auction on my channel with some pretty cool stuff that you're not going to want to miss. Yeah, I can't wait for next week either, Leslie. You bet. I can't wait to get the tree up but we got to let this dry. I mean, if you keep going, I can see already the reeds are moving. So sometimes when you make a project like this, guys, you got to do it in steps to let the glue really set so you don't lose your material. And so we're going to let everything set up for next week. I can't wait. And I know you are looking forward to it. Give me that thumbs up, guys. Make sure you hit the thumb. And if you are not a subscriber, subscribe and join our Fairy Garden Tuesdays, our Book Club Wednesdays, our Arts and Craft Monday. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I know you will too. Hugs and positivity, y'all. Have a great, great Tuesday.